Tarpley here in Washington, D.C. Now, there are two demonstrations going on in Athens. There's the yes demonstration and the popular no demonstration. And even France 24 in their coverage has admitted that the yes demonstration is composed of rich people with high fashion designer handbags and designer shoes and designer clothes. And those are the wealthy. And they say yes, because the austerity does not hit them so hard. The France 24 has had to admit that the no demonstration is significantly bigger. So in the dueling demonstrations, the no comes in ahead of it. But enough of me. Let's go to Athens and talk to Michael Chiotinis, who is coming directly from the demonstration and is about to return to the demonstration. Michael, welcome.
Yes, exactly. I'm just back from the demonstration, and when we finish, I'm going to go back again. There's Tsipras is going to speak to the demonstration. He's going to make a speech. There's a concert that's going to be held there by very important artists who say no. There are people from Spain, there are people from Portugal, there are people from Germany, from France, from all left parties are there in Syntagma Square making speeches, giving speeches to the world, to the people gathered. It's a gathering like nothing else that I've ever seen in Athens. You see rivers of people until the eye cannot see the end of those streams of people. I got out of there using the metro rail, and there were streams of people coming out of the metro heading towards the demonstration. So here, the climate. On the other hand, the climate is one of a coming regime change. Tsipras announced the referendum with a yes or no to the ultimatum by the lender institutions. He called the Greek people, he asked the Greek people to give him the strength to say no to ultimatums, to say no to the bullying of democracy by the European institutions. But the thing is, starting from this day, from the next day, the European ruling class, along with its puppets in Greece, funded a media campaign to change the question. The important thing is to change the image of reality. They are trying to change the view of what's at stake here. They have transformed the question in public opinion from yes or no to the ultimatum by the Troika to a question of yes or no to Europe itself, which is crazy because Tsipras comes out every day. Of course, they don't show Tsipras. They show, Prime Ministers Samaras and any quackademic who thinks that this plan is viable, even though the IMF today came out with a report saying this is not viable. And this propaganda is taking place in an intensity and a scale that is unprecedented. I've never seen this. I don't remember anything like this before in my lifetime. Maybe it can be compared to the 9/11 terror campaign. Be afraid, be scared, always. Right. Tsipras makes appeals every day to the Greek people. He gives the message that there is nothing to fear but fear itself, like the famous phrase by FDR. But the media is not alone in this fear campaign. It is clear to me, talking with people, that there is an organized propaganda by employers' unions. In any job, the employers cease payment until all this is cleared, without having any excuse to do that, without having any problem of paying employees. One employer tweeted about whoever is going to come to the yes vote demonstration is going to get paid. All the other are not going to get paid. So also in any job, the employers hand out leaflets and spread Word documents, for Christ's sake, that supposedly explain, with texts that essays that supposedly explain the way that a no vote will lead to a haircut of people's deposits in the banks, or how the mortgages will fall into the possession of the European Central Bank, which is, again, supposedly going to foreclose on them. I mean, the terror campaign is unbelievable. And on the one hand, the positive thing is that people who were apolitical for years are suddenly called out to vote on things they never thought that concerned them anyway. But on the other hand, these people are very easily terrorized. And it's going to be a very difficult fight to win. I don't know where this is going to lead. Right now, the polls are 50-50.
All right, Michael, let me just add a couple of things. There's a new Reuters wire that quotes Donald Tusk of Poland, who is this character, the head of the European Council, right? One of the organs of the European Union. And he says, quote, "It is very clear that the referendum is not about being in the euro or not. That's not the issue." He says, "Maybe we will have to get used to living with a country as a member of the Eurozone in bankruptcy." So there he is saying that's not the issue. You can indeed default and be bankrupt and stay in the European Union. And also Schäuble had said that last week, right? He said you could stay in the euro and even access the European Regional Fund and these other funds. The other one I wonder if you know is that concerning that IMF report, the Reuters wire is that European governments, right, obviously Berlin, right, tried to stop the IMF from publishing this report that says the Greek debt burden is too big and debt relief is essential. Right? The European governments tried to say, IMF, suppress that report. Don't publish it. Don't inject that. So there is good ammunition coming in for the no side.
Yes, of course, but none of this is shown in the media. In other words, this is a fight, internet against television. Television, if you open the television set, you will be terrorized. If you open the internet, you will see the truth. But it's very hard for people to not be afraid. This vote is going to go is going to be influenced by fear itself. But only this is the most significant thing in this campaign. And yes, of course, Berlin wants the IMF to give technical excuses to create deflationary depression in Greece, but they don't want, of course, debt haircut, because how are we going to get a debt colony going without debt? You know, it can't be done. And this thing about the, Greece being kicked out of the euro, it's insane for me. I mean, the euro is the weapon of political domination by Berlin in the rest of Europe. It's unimaginable. Can you imagine the Roman Empire kicking out a colony? What is this? This is insane. In other words, are we afraid of being independent of this strangling by the ECB? I don't think so. I think that we are Europeans, that the no vote is the European vote, which aspires to the European ideals and the European chart of human rights, and the yes vote is against Europe, because the yes vote will break up the euro for sure. If the yes vote wins this Sunday, there will be a revolt against the euro in a year or so. I'm absolutely sure about this.
Michael, can you just stay a couple of minutes? I just want you to come back in the next segment and make your final appeal to the Greek voters on what to do on Sunday, okay? Just for a minute or two. And we'll be back in a minute on World Crisis Radio. Okay, welcome back to World Crisis Radio, our July 4th program. And we just want to get a few final words, the last word here, from Michael Chiotinis in Athens. Michael, why don't you make your appeal to the Greeks? And if you want to say a few words in Greek, that would be great too.
Okay. So what I want to say to my fellow citizens is that you shouldn't be afraid of the lines at the ATM machine. Forget about the lines for the ATM machine. The banks were closed by the Eurogroup and the ECB, not by your government. But even though, don't be afraid of the lines for the ATM machine. Be afraid of the lines at the unemployment agency and the food handouts. These are the lines that we had for 5 years. And now somehow the media are trying to convince us about this hysteria about 60 euros a day. I mean, you get 60 euros per day, per person today because of capital controls. And they are trying, the new memorandum is going to bring wages of 300 euros per month. Do you know how much is 300 euros per month? It's a lot less than 60 euros a day. So don't be afraid of this. Say no to the ultimatum against your right to be governed as you wish. It's not about the lenders wanting to take their money back. They don't want to take their money back. They want political domination. It's about it's about imposing their terms of governance, not our terms of governance. This is about who has the right to tell you how to be governed. This is a fight for to avoid destruction of the economy. Every strategic asset of the Greek economy is going to be destroyed if this is passed. So, no, just forget about your fears. Forget about your fears about the deposits. The banks, the accounts of the banks are fine because you paid, because of bailouts that you paid for with your money that you borrowed. So don't be afraid of that. Be afraid of the homeless and the poor and the destitute and the children not having, fainting at school classes inside the schools from malnutrition. This is what you should be afraid of, not lines at the ATM machine for 60 euros a day.
And could we just hear a few words in Greek? I think everybody's now learned this ochi. So no.
Yes, no. Ochi. Our forefathers said no to the Third Reich. Let's say a more simple no this time, but by the people. The people need to support the government. Υποστηρίξτε την κυβέρνηση. Δώστε την δυνατότητα στην κυβέρνηση να διαπραγματευτεί για σας. Πείτε όχι.
Okay. Great. Wonderful. A great voice and a great cause. Michael, we'll be looking to you as usual, maybe even during the weekend, right? Maybe Sunday night. Okay?
Thank you very much.
So thank you. And Michael Chiotinis has done a lot to defend the Greek government since January, simply by telling the truth for at least a certain portion of world public opinion. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Now you go back to that demonstration and give them hell.